Okay, I'm Tim Scoggins, Chairman of the Shaftsbury Select Board, and I'm calling this meeting to order at 6:31 p.m. on Monday, June 15th, 2020. First, I need to check with the board. Does anyone have a conflict of interest with anything appearing on the agenda this evening? Art?
No.
Tony?
No.
Joe?
No.
Tim? No. So that is taken care of. We had minutes that were circulated for our last meeting of June 1. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion to approve the minutes for June 1 from Art, seconded by Tony. Any discussion, addition, or corrections to the minutes? The question is approving the minutes for June 1. Art?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
Joe?
I have to bow out. I wasn't there for the meeting.
Joe abstains. Tim votes yes. So the minutes for June 1 are approved by a vote of 301, which takes us to warrants. Okay, first up I have payroll warrant number 25 in the amount of $23,199.53.
So moved. Second.
Motion to approve from Tony, seconded by Art. Any discussion on payroll warrant number 25? Question is approval of payroll warrant number 25. Art?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Tim votes yes. So payroll warrant number 25 in the amount of $23,199.53 is approved 400. Okay, next I have check warrant number 32. Total amount is $31,632.45.
So moved.
Motion
Second.
to approve from Tony, seconded by Art. Major items here include, I see $500 for Southern Vermont Sign Works. I'm guessing that's for the Howard Park sign.
Correct.
There's $1,300 to William E. Daly. I see $800 for Wells Communication. I'm betting that's fire department.
Yes.
Okay. Any other discussion on check warrant number 32? The question is, do we approve check warrant number 32? Art?
Yes. Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Tim votes yes. So check warrant number 32 in the amount of $31,632.45 is approved 400.
Tim, I think there's another page of that should probably show the first page.
Oh, of the check warrant. Sorry about that. Oh, yes, there was the first page I skipped. It opened up on the second page. It threw me. So just by way of discussion, and if anyone wishes to reconsider the check warrant, we will. Other items there are $1,000 to Aflac, $7,000 to Blue Cross Blue Shield, $600 to Consolidated Communications. What is that?
That's a dispute with Consolidated. When we switched over to Xfinity, we started getting these bills for 2 phone lines that were for the fire department. We started back in February discussing this with them, what these lines were, because the records are long gone. Then COVID came and the conversation went off to the side while they kept looking. We just resolved one of them, which appears to be a state police line that was set up decades ago that goes over to the firehouse. We're still trying to discover what the other phone line is. It is active. It terminates somewhere out on Airport Road. It was signed up by the fire department a long time ago, and they're trying to find the paperwork. So we went ahead and settled our argument with them and paid them for the lines for the last few months. But whether we can cut them off, we're still not sure. We're not sure what one of them. Yeah, and they're still.
So they can't tell us. They can't tell us where the phone is, what it's for, or how to use it, but they can bill us for it.
They can bill us for it. Yeah, that was my point. But they do have the paperwork that they were signed up for, and they weren't ported over with Xfinity because they're run separately. It's always been a separate bill to the fire department that went through the town clerk's office, but had nothing to do with the town. Like I said, one turned out to be an old state police line that apparently we need to have, and the other one, we're still trying to figure out what it is and cut it off. But for the time being, I've been talking to Joe about it. We want to be sure that we're not doing something you shouldn't be doing. Monthly, it's like $113. So it's not tremendous, but we do want to get rid of it if we don't need it. Terminate somewhere on Airport Road. We're not sure where yet. And either is
well, turn it off and see what breaks. That's my thought.
Unfortunately, it's emergency service, and I'm afraid to turn it off. It's something we really need. So it's a little confusing.
Okay.
So,
okay, do it the sensible way.
Yeah, we may be rebated if we can show that this is not proper, but so far what we proved is that it is a valid charge to us. And we just have to find out if it's still necessary to have.
Okay, also on this bill are a number of payments to GA Bow Fuels, 900, 250, 167, 270, 817, 585, 189, 346, 464. Why do we have so many bills?
Yeah, what do they come twice a week?
Yeah, the diesel bills, there are heating fuel bills for here, for the garage, not the garage, the firehouses, you name it, it's a real hodgepodge of bills here. But it's everything from the road diesel to the heating oil to propane we also get from them.
Okay.
We do have quite a lot of them this month.
They can't consolidate that into one payment?
Wait till you get to the Green Mountain Power bills next. We get like 20 Green Mountain Power bills a month. Because each one of our outlets, including the speed signs, has its own designated meter, and we get a bill for that. So it's just the way the system works.
Yeah, no, you want separate bills, Art.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Okay. 1100 for Hayden Plumbing.
That was work the firehouse, both of the firehouses, everything routine things from boiler cleaning at the end of the season to setting up. They replaced the water heater at 166, things like that.
Okay. And the Chloride People Innovative Surface Solutions, 1700, 4400, 4400.
It's making a huge difference, this new material. It really
Those look great.
Yeah. I was on East Road today and it was really just completely dust free. It was amazing.
Yeah, good. So those are the items that were on the first page of the bill. Does anyone wish to revisit approval of check warrant number 32?
No.
Neither do I. Okay, we will move on. Thank you, Melanie. I overlooked that. Okay, after warrants, did I get all the warrants?
You have the water warrants in there.
I have a town water bill. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's the same thing.
Okay, I'll bring it up. Okay, so for fire station number 1, there's a bill of $190. Oops, let me start at the top. Did it again. Okay, this is water warrant number 2. This must be the total. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
And then the water bills follow. Okay, so I'm looking for a motion to approve water warrant number 2 in the amount of $346.
So moved.
Moved by
Second.
Tony. Second by Joe. Any discussion on that? Those are water bills for town hall and the 2 firehouses, I believe.
Town hall, the garage, because we had to pay the bond because it's still connected, and the firehouse 166. The other firehouse as well.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, this is what we billed out at the old price. Okay,
This is
Right.
the old price.
Yes.
Yeah,
I understand now.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Are we paying this at the old price?
Yes.
Yes. Because we billed ourselves, Tim. We're actually billing ourselves.
Okay, so we're not paying
No.
this rate right here.
No.
Okay. All right. Any other discussion? The question is water warrant number 2. Art,
Yes.
Tony,
yes,
Joe,
Yes.
Tim votes yes. So water warrant number 2, $346 is approved, 400. Does that get them all?
That's all of them, yes.
Okay. Item 5, does anyone have any announcements?
I do. Everyone who has a dog that has not relicensed it will be getting a letter in the mail that basically will be stating that before July 1st, we will not assess a late fee due to all the things that have been going on this spring. But after July 1st, the altered dog will have a $12 late fee. Unaltered dogs will have a $14 late fee. There'll be a certain amount of time to pay it after that, then we'll move to the next step. Right now, we have 104 residents with 153 unlicensed dogs. That needs to come down a lot. I reviewed the list today before the letters went out, and I think a lot of these will go down. I think it's people who just, in the midst of everything going on, have lost track of it. So the letters will go out, but we do. This is a state law. We have to follow up on this, and we have to get these dogs licensed. So please take care of it before July 1st so you can pay the normal rate. After that, we're going to have to assess the late fees.
And just to remind everybody, we don't do this to make money for the town. We do this because it's a state law and it's the health issue. It's a way of making sure that people keep their dogs vaccinated.
Mhm.
Okay, I will mention again that it was decided by the Board of Civil Authority that we need to move the polling place for the upcoming elections in the primary elections in August and the general election in November in order to respect social distancing. We just need more room to spread out people and polling booths. And so those elections will be held at the new town garage on North Road. So everyone take note of that. Along with that, we are encouraging everyone to vote absentee to the greatest extent possible and minimize the amount of in-person polling that has to take place. You can request your absentee ballot at any time using the My Voter page at the Secretary of State's website, which is linked on the town of Shaftsbury website, shaftsburybt.gov. You can request it now. You will get a ballot ballots become available 45 days before the election. Are there any public comments? Has anyone called in wishing to make a public comment to the select board? Hearing none, we will move on to item 7, which is the treasurer's report. Melanie Dexter.
Hello, everybody. I didn't get you the reports, as I said before, but I can just summarize for you what they would say. We're in pretty good shape for cash. We got those payments from the school final reconciliation, so we're going to be fine closing out the year with the cash we've got. I do have and then on the reserve account side, it's basically just a lot of water payments coming in that I'm trying to deal with, despite the fact that my check capture machine is not working. So that's put a real cramp in my style, but we're hoping to get that fixed. So the other thing that I've got going on today for you guys is the line of credit application. Tim, did you get that paperwork?
I did not.
I scanned it over to you this afternoon.
The email or Dropbox?
It would have been in the Dropbox.
It must have been pretty late this afternoon.
It was, yes.
Well, I'll just stop you through it. I don't have it in front of me, but my recollection is that you have to, as a board, vote to approve the line of credit that we're requesting as a tax anticipation note. I requested $500,000, and they granted that, which was nice. I do not expect to use all of it, but it's a nice little bump. Our tax collection is later than we expected. I explained all of this last time. So you've got to approve that in the duly warned meeting, which is what this is. And then the other thing is, I think there's an arbitrage. You have to agree not to arbitrage. So was there something else, Dave?
I wasn't sure if there was a question on the end there, but yeah, there's the tax anticipation borrowing line of credit, which will require the board chairs to sign, with the clerk's office, and the non-arbitrary certificate. This is just like the one we do every year. So we normally do it for less. I think Melanie just said that it was kind of broken up in here, but this is what we had talked about last meeting.
Yeah, so I think we need 2 votes, you guys.
Yes.
Okay, I am trying to find it. Is it in this folder called Review and Sign? Or is that all about the sheriff contract?
I'll have to clean up myself. It lets me.
Oh, no, that's the check warrant.
If you want to give me the originals, and I can rescan them.
Yeah, hold on one second. They should be in here.
Should I check my email?
The agreement,
And maybe let me send it to your email. Hold on.
No, that's Sullivan and Powers.
Well, Tim, I'll send it to you right now.
Okay. Well, while that's happening, Melody, do you have anything for us besides the line of credit agreement?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, I think you could probably take the vote. Do you feel like you need to read it out loud?
It's like the we've seen one very similar every year, right? It's just a bank
Exactly.
agreement saying that we won't use the money to buy cheap stocks or anything like that, right?
that's the second one. The first one is just to approve the whole line of credit. And then
Okay.
we only need signature.
Well, Dave is working on it, so let's give him a minute.
The upstairs copy machine does not scan fast, but it's coming back.
Well, I apologize for the pause. I don't see anything else on the agenda that I can do without Dave's help, so we're just going to have to wait for him to come back.
We can continue talking. I have to get off the live screen for the photo, my photo op here, because I have to be on another screen.
Dave, why don't you just tell us what is in those two documents? And I think we're familiar with them because we do them every year.
Yeah, these are basically the same ones, just a little larger this year, as requested by the treasurer. Basically, the first is a tax anticipation note for line of credit, and this is at 1.85% per annum, the exempt rate. We only pay interest on the amount that's actually requested. It will be available on July 1st for the first draw if needed, which I doubt that would be. Requires the board.
We paid December 15th.
And what is the maximum amount?
500,000.
And what is the title of the document?
The Town of Shaftsbury Resolution Tax Anticipation Borrowing Line of Credit.
I make the motion that we sign the document.
Okay, we have a motion to sign the document. And Dave, say the name again.
It's the Town of Shaftsbury Tax Anticipation, Town of Shaftsbury Resolution Tax Anticipation Borrowing Line of Credit.
Okay, you're probably going to have to say that for me every time. Any discussion on the tax anticipation line of credit note?
You need a second. I don't think anybody seconded.
Thank you.
Second.
Second from Tony. Any discussion on the tax anticipation line of credit resolution? Question is, do we agree to sign the tax anticipation line of credit resolution? Art,
Yes.
Tony,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Tim votes yes. So the resolution is agreed to by a vote of 4-0-0. And Dave, if you would describe the second document for us.
The second document is a standard non-arbitrage certificate, meaning that we will not use money in an unapproved manner. Its complete title is the Town of Shaftsbury Non-Arbitrage Certificate and Tax Anticipation Borrowing Line of Credit.
Is there a motion to sign the non-arbitrage certificate as described by David?
Yes.
Moved by Art,
Second.
second by Tony. Discussion. The question is, do we sign the non-arbitrage certificate? Art,
Yes.
Tony,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Tim votes yes. So that motion is agreed to by a vote of 4-0-0.
Okay. That will be the last part of that. Tim, we will need you to come in. We're hoping on Wednesday morning around 10, because these have to be signed and witnessed by the town clerk. And I have a number of other documents going back to the Huntington Fund that the Attorney General's office wants, that it's the same things we submitted to the probate court, but they want copies themselves. Would have
Is
been
there
helpful.
10 of them again?
Excuse me?
Is there 10 of them again?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Actually, there's 11 because we had to get another year.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it would have been helpful if they told us the first time that 2 different people needed them. And the court's difficult to deal with right now because of the COVID thing, so.
Okay.
We're
Can
thinking
do.
10 o'clock on Wednesday, if you could do that, then we could sign these.
Let me take a quick look at my calendar. I think that's open.
I'm sorry, I
Wednesday,
don't.
10 a.m. Yes, I can do that.
Okay, good.
Okay. Melanie, do you have anything else for us?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. Any other questions for Melanie?
No,
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you, Melanie.
Item 8 is emergency manager report. Paul Dancero. I don't see him online.
No, Paul can't make it. Actually, we're going to look to drop Paul's bi-weekly meetings until such time as some significant change happens. Paul is also a scout troop master that is back in action, and their regular meeting nights are Monday nights. There isn't much to report unless the situation fires up again. All the information that everyone needs, especially businesses, is on the ACCD website of the state of Vermont. It informs you how to open your business, all the rules. It has everything you need, and that's ACCD Vermont, and they will be able to walk you through everything. And also the Department of Health, and of course the governor's website is always helpful for that. There are many changes this week, except different stores, different businesses can open at different levels, and you need to go to your sector-specific site to read about what, if you have a business, what you can and can't do at this stage. And there's so many things listed, you really need to go to your own site to see what it is.
Okay. Thank you. Anything else there?
Well, that's about it. There isn't, like I said, there isn't much, as everyone knows, and is following. Things are opening up, and everyone's just waiting for the next phase to come along.
Okay. Anything? Any changes in town operations?
No, operations.
Item 9.
No, operations are staying the same. We have it worked out here. As I said, many towns consider themselves reopening now, but they're reopening to the level we've been working at for the last 6 weeks or so. We haven't had any issues getting attorneys and researchers in here so that people can sell their houses and do other real estate transactions. Zoning permits are going out. Everything is operating. We're just doing it remotely. We haven't really had even a complaint or a comment about the way things are going. So it's working out quite well for us. And we appreciate everybody's cooperation. I know some people would like to come in, but that may not be possible for a while. So things will basically stay the way they are.
Okay, good. Thank you. How about item 10, DPW report?
Right, for the last 2 weeks, there's been patching, blacktop patching done on the East Road, the upper section, White Creek Road, Fox Avenue, aprons. We're back to replacing a lot of signs. They get knocked down, they get stolen. They've been on Holy Smoke, Madison, West Mountain stop signs. This goes on continually, unfortunately. A lot gets stolen, which is really unfortunate. In the last 2 weeks, Perrin Road, Horton Hill, Daniel, Shaftsbury Hollow, LeClaire, Bennett Hill, and half of Cross Hill have been graded. There's a large ditching project going on Murphy Hill Road, and that'll continue for another couple of weeks. If you've been up there, it's a very nice ditching job they're doing with check dams, and it should make a big improvement on the road. Roadside Mowing has started. We're using our very old mower. We're getting a lot done with it. Our contract mower is set to start up in about 2 weeks, and he'll mow the whole town through July. With our new seasonal helper in the parks, it's giving us a lot of flexibility, and he's also helping out on some minor project with the DPW. So that's working out well for us. As we get into vacation period, it just allows more things to get done as time goes by. The plans for the next 2 weeks always subject to change based on weather and other factors. Grading will continue on Maple Hill, Glastonbury, Mountain View, Town Line, Tinkham, and the end of Cross Hill. The Murphy Hill ditching will continue through the next 2 weeks too. It's quite a large project. All the new excavated ditches will be seeded and mulched when it's done. There's more blacktop patching for Buck Hill, Old Depot, and Hidden Valley. This Wednesday at 1 o'clock, we're having a pre-bid meeting up Shaftsbury Hollow at the Hideaway for the replacement of that large culvert there. I've spoken with 3 companies that are interested in coming to have a look at it. On West Mountain Road, there are 3 hazard trees that are going to be taken down. It got postponed from last month. And there will be, some intermittent delays when they have to stop part of the tree where traffic will stop for a few minutes. We don't anticipate that being a big issue. On Tinkham Road,
That those trees, are we doing that or are we hiring that out?
we have to hire. It's too much. There's a certain height we can't do.
Right.
But we always work with them, so it keeps the price down. Because we have the chipper and everything. On Tinkham Road, there's a long-standing problem on Tinkham Road coming into the 4 corners. We worked with the homeowner there, who's been very understanding, but Mike's going to do some test digs up there to see if there's ledge to try and come up with a plan to get the drainage to work better. Because when you come down the hill, right, coming up to the intersection, it tends to go off into the person's yard a lot, and it carries a lot of water down. We've tried a few things, but Mike wants to give it another shot and see if we can put some culverts in somewhere along the line to take the water across the road, so it's not all going in one place. And the road signs, again, we keep replacing stolen ones. And I think I mentioned that the contract mowers start July 1st, and we'll continue in the parks, mowing the parks, and keep things moving. So I think we're in pretty good shape. The roads, I think, are in really good shape. I drove down Potter Montgomery today. I haven't done that in a little while, I'll confess, and that was in the best shape I've ever seen it in. I mean, there were times when you wouldn't want to go down that road, and it was actually, I only saw one pothole of any interest, so it was really in good shape. So things
Have we done something on Potter Montgomery?
Excuse me?
Have we been doing anything on Potter Montgomery?
Nothing unusual. It's just maintained, and it's smooth. It's the smoothest I've seen it in a long time.
Yeah, because my recollection is there was nothing we could do in Potter Montgomery until we start cutting down large, expensive amounts of trees.
To make it really wide, because myself and the Vermont Railway truck came head to head, and it gets a little dicey getting through. But yeah, to really make it, the proper size of the thing, it'd be a lot of construction. But with one house on it, on one end, and 2 on the other end, functions for now. But yeah, full cutting out would be an issue, big issue. But otherwise, I think we're in very good shape.
Yeah, when I've been driving the roads lately, they look really good.
I agree.
Yes.
Dave, are you aware that someone from the rec committee got a hold of the North Shaft Lions and asked them to do some volunteer work in the area of the flagpole at Howard Park? Are you aware of anything like that?
Yes, they talked about it at their last meeting, and
Okay, that's fine. I just didn't want, I wanted everything coordinated, just so you know what's going on, okay?
Yes, I thought that was a good idea to have them take care of that. Yeah, I know what's something else with the parks too. It'll come to me. But yeah, the signs ordered. We're working on the RFP to get the big work done up there, the drainage work done. So we'll probably have that out in a few weeks.
Okay.
But they do want to work on that. And our cameras are working in the park because people are dumping their stuff in a different part. I get constant calls about dumping, and I'm like, well, hate to tell you, that's right down the street from where we put the cameras in the park, so I guess they're taking our signs and our cameras for real and they're going somewhere else. And we still wind up picking the stuff up. The road crew has to go pick the stuff up. So, today was a basketball hoop and backboard and everything. So, hard to imagine. But that is all I have for the DPW report.
Anyone have anything to say about the roads?
They're
Good
great.
shape.
I was actually down on Madison Road, 1 o'clock, and like you guys were saying, and I agree, the roads are great. No washboards, no, it was smooth, everything was really nice. Looking good.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Very good.
think that roller on the grader is a big help. It isn't the only thing, but there's a lot of things going on in our favor.
Yeah.
I went down East Road today and the roller had been on the grader. You could tell. It just gives you a whole different driving surface. It really does make a difference.
Okay, item 11 is the sheriff's contract. I guess that's up for renewal.
That's up for renewal. We went over it with the sheriff last week. It came in a DocuSign, so the only way I could do it, I can't copy this DocuSign because it's a Dropbox. You have it, Tim. But basically, the only change is we reduced the hours by 2 hours a week from last year. It'll come in a little bit over what we budgeted just for a rounding, but it'll be 15 hours at the same rate, $45 an hour, includes the fee for the car and everything. So it's the exact same contract, just changing a couple of things. The amount of money, the amount of time.
So 15 hours per week.
At $45 an hour, which includes the deputy, the cruiser. Of course, there is the part in there, should gas go up like it did several years back, there would be a surcharge on that, which is pretty standard in contracts these days.
Right, and does not appear to be a problem at the moment.
Yeah.
Has
So
anybody
motion to
made,
renew the sheriff's I'm sorry?
I was gonna ask David, has anybody complained to you at all about, the speed of vehicles on Route 7A or any of the roads around here?
No, actually, I haven't heard a speeding complaint in quite some time.
My wife and I and my daughter went for a walk the other day. Well, we walk quite frequently, but anyway, I guess what I'm trying to say is, I bet you if there was 100 cars going down Route 7,
Yeah.
probably maybe a handful of them maybe doing the speed limit. The rest are all above and beyond. I think that needs to be, looked at a little bit.
Okay.
It has been brought to my attention as well from some of the citizens on
Talking
7.
about 7A in the village you're talking about?
Yes, 7A in the village.
Well, at one time, we tried to get the sheriff to patrol specific areas, and we were providing a schedule that we changed around, but then we found out we were not getting the coverage from that we wanted. Do we have any remaining options to use our sheriff time the way we want, or do we just sign this contract and they drive around?
No, they will always respond. I think the problem with the last request was when we were making specific things we wanted them on each time they went out to be here, there, or the other place. And that's a very difficult thing to do. But if you request that you want more performance on 7A or more performance on Murphy Hill or somewhere, you name it, you let them work into their schedule, because I read all their date sheets at the end of the month. So I pretty much know where they are. So if we request things, they will respond to that. But if we say, give them a list of roads and times, it becomes a scheduling issue for them, because sheriffs aren't scheduled here like every Tuesday at 8 a.m. A lot of times is how can they combine our hours with an Arlington hours and put together an 8-hour shift for somebody, or a sheriff from some other place. Because at 15 hours a week, we're not talking a lot of coverage. So you can get enforcement at different times on different streets, but requesting specific times or times of day, they'll try, but they can't guarantee that.
I
Okay,
make-
well, let's ask them to focus on the village for a while.
Yeah,
On 7A.
I'll send a email to the lieutenant at the barracks too. Because they would
David?
respond to with that when it's come up.
I was gonna say, even Cleveland Avenue, we have our share of speeders every day on this street.
Yeah, we're probably doing on Cleveland, we're probably 35 to 40, some a little over 40.
Little
I'm
too
still-
fast for this.
Yeah, I've heard that complaint many times, and it still flabbergasts me that people can even get up to those speeds on Cleveland Avenue. So, yeah, let's have them focus on the village, Cleveland Avenue, and 7A,
Okay,
and Cleveland Avenue especially. I mean, that should be the kind of place where kids can play in the street.
Yeah. And there are kids that play out around here, so it is kind of scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to fix that.
okay. I can definitely ask him to take care of that.
I make the motion, we sign the sheriff's contract for the next ensuing term.
So we
Second,
have a motion from Art to renew the sheriff's contract. I didn't hear who seconded.
second, Tony.
Seconded by Tony. Any more discussion? The question is, do we renew the sheriff's contract? Art,
Yes,
Tony,
Yes,
Joe?
Yes.
Tim votes yes. So that motion is agreed to by a vote of 4-0-0. All right, item 12 is the memorandum of understanding between Shaftsbury and the unorganized town of Glastonbury.
And this too is this is literally the exact contract with the dates changed or agreement as the one we signed in 2018. I spoke with Ricky Harrington, where we exchanged emails. He sees no reason to change it, and I can't see any reason to change it either. It's very limited in scope. It just allows them to use the transfer station. We provide emergency services for them.
and who's the administrator in Shaftsbury? Is it still Ricky?
Yes.
Okay,
and are we plowing the road now, or is the state still trying to get up there?
They have a contractor. Last I heard, Jerry Madison had the contract to plow up there.
Okay, good enough. Yep. I make the motion, we sign the, is it an agreement or, yeah,
Memorandum of understanding.
okay, I make that motion.
A motion from Art to renew the memorandum of understanding between Shaftsbury and Glastonbury,
seconded by Tony.
seconded by Tony. Any discussion?
I'm just curious, where does it actually start? Does it, where does the town truck turn around? Does it turn around at the, where the new road goes over the top, where that big tunnel is?
Yes,
Is that where we end up our responsibility?
yes. And they take care of the end part, which is back, we have that part of Shaftsbury way at the end.
Yeah,
So they take care of that for us.
okay, just curious.
Any other discussion? So the question is, do we renew the memorandum of understanding between Shaftsbury and Glastonbury for municipal services? Art,
Yes,
Tony,
Yes,
Joe?
Yes.
Tim votes yes, so that motion is agreed to by a vote of 4-0-0.
are we still giving him a bucket of sand? What is it?
With Jerry, when he needed some extra sand, we would drop some off for him. It's kind of like an informal agreement,
Right,
just so he has stuff to work with. Because he's up there now, so he's, he has some on his property.
yeah, no, I remember the bucket of sand, I think.
Well, that was the original agreement with the state of Vermont, is that we would deliver like a bucket of sand, in the,
Right, yeah, yeah.
so we continued that through to the next one.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, unlike it's not a gore, it's an unincorporated town, yeah.
Okay, that takes us to item 13, other business.
And this came today, but this is the annual agreement with Sullivan Powers for the fiscal 20 audit, which is going to start in about a week. They're operating under COVID problems also, so we just got this today. If the board wants more time to read this is pretty much verbatim like every other year. But if it can be signed tonight, we can sign it tonight and get it back to them. They will start probably without this being signed, but
Yeah, just remind us what the total fee is.
$16,800.
16.8, did you say?
16,800.
So moved.
Motion from Art to, again, hire Sullivan and Powers to do our annual audit for the amount of $16,800.
Second,
Seconded by Tony. Any discussion?
This actually goes on for almost a year, because it seems like it was just a few meetings ago they were talking about some of their recommendations.
Yeah, it's pretty much, it's kind of the benefit of working with the one firm all the time too, because we have a real process going here. They come early to us because we can provide them all the documents. They know what they're looking at. They know how we work. And it does seem like they're always just coming or going. They're always changing something. But it's been very helpful. I think it's great transparency for the town to have this. And we put the whole report in the town report every year.
It's very good.
Okay, I lost track. Did we get a motion?
Motion second, so that was just discussion.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion? So the question is, do we again hire Sullivan and Powers to do the annual town audit for $16,800? Art,
Yes.
Tony,
yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Tim votes yes, so that motion is agreed to by a vote of 4-0-0. Other business.
We have the water infrastructure. The state revolving loan application.
Yes.
We were supposed to take this up at the last meeting, but we got sidetracked. This is just so that our engineer Dufresne can forward this to the state. This is for actually bringing it into construction stage. It's about $60,000 is guess. Any money we spend on this, when the actual project is funded through the other grant, this will be paid back. And this is just the application. This isn't saying that we're getting it either.
So this is the application for
the grant
to do the phase 1 study.
Mhm.
And the phase 1 study is going to cost about $60,000, do I recall?
Yeah, with the application, let's see here.
And this application is to allow the engineer to make the application to the state revolving fund so that we can get reimbursed for this engineering design.
Correct. What they're asking for is $65,000 for this stage, and at each stage, we'll basically write a check. If we're given the grant, we'll write a check to Dufresne and immediately send a copy to the revolving loan fund, and they'll send us a check back. It's what we just spent. So,
So what we're approving right now is just an application.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm looking for a motion to allow the engineer to make the application to the state revolving fund on our behalf for phase 1 engineering design relative to the water main replacement.
So moved.
Moved by Art,
Second,
second by Tony. Discussion? The question is allowing the engineer to make the grant application on our behalf for the water line replacement. Art,
Yes.
Tony,
Yes,
Joe,
Yes,
Tim votes yes, so that motion is agreed to by a vote of 4-0-0.
Okay, and Tim will sign that on Wednesday also, because that has to be certified by the clerk also while we're doing it.
Okay,
And that's one of those that has, each selectman is supposed to sign, but under the COVID rules, you can sign in the vote we had a couple of weeks ago, you can sign for the whole board.
okay, will do.
And that's all I had for other business.
Anybody else have other business?
Yeah, I just have a question. A few meetings back, we voted to have a plaque made for Mr. Madison for his service. Probably, and then I drove past the guy that makes it there. Can't think of it.
Tomasi.
Yeah, Tomasi's, and I think maybe he's closed up. So has that not happened? I just don't want it forgotten.
Honestly, I forgot. So
Okay.
let me check on that.
You can still deal with Tomasi, because I know another organization just got a plaque from him.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, thank you. That just slipped off my radar. Okay, other business. Or I'm sorry. I think, yeah, other business. Nobody else did it. Action items. So number one, I'm going to check with Tomasi and see if we can get a plaque for Jerry's service as emergency manager. I've got documents to sign at 10 a.m. Wednesday. We've got the attorney response to North Bennington relative to negotiating a new contract, and that Art and I are going to attend. Anything else? Okay. I see we have an executive session to discuss contract issues.
I make a motion, we go to executive session to discuss the contracts.
Second,
Second by Tony. Okay, we have a motion to go into executive session. Art,
Yes.
Tony,
yes.
Joe,
yes.
Tim votes to go into executive session as well. So that motion is agreed to. We will ask Cat DV to sign off.